Hello, it's Nigel from FCD Ghostboxes. We're going to look at an easy setup and operating of the FCD Mk4 Adj Ghostbox that we sell on Etsy. Some people on there said they're a little bit confused with the instructions, but it's once you understand it and can see it, really straightforward, really easy. So that's what we're going to do in this session, go through step by step how to set it up and how to use it. Okay, step one. This is just inserting the batteries in the back of the unit. When it arrives, you'll see there's a battery holder there that takes 4 AA batteries, and dead easy. You just pop them in. They're alternative polarity. You just pop them in there. The case itself is very secure and holds them in place. Look, I can shake it about. They won't fall out. They're actually, quite tough. They're actually quite tough to get out. I tend to use a little bit of a screwdriver just to prise them, to ease them out. So there's no issues with them falling out or anything like that. Some people have said, why doesn't it have a battery cover? Doesn't need one. Okay, simple as that. Okay, step 2, let's look at the controls on the unit itself. We'll start at this side. Here we have, you'll see they're all labelled so that you can't make a mistake, knowing which button or knob does what. There's a toggle switch here. This simply turns the whole of the ghost box side. Think about the FCD Mk4 as 2 devices in one. You've got a ghost box radio like you get with many other ghost boxes, plus you've got a multimedia portal which is operated by this panel on the top, and that's for just inputting things like apps from your phone, a ghost box app that you might want to put through the speaker, or USB sound banks that you might want to put through, and you can put them through at the same time as you actually operate the ghost box, so you can get a good mixture of things happening there too. Okay, so that the toggle switch on this side simply clicks down to turn on, clicks up to turn off. It's as simple as that. It turns the ghost box side of it off. To turn the multimedia, which we'll look at the end, you use a different switch on the top of the panel. Okay, so we've got also here at the bottom the volume control for the ghost box. That's just a rotary knob that turns up and down. On the other side we have the rates sweep knob, control knob. At its minimum position, it's the fastest. So if you want to slow the sweep down, you can turn it clockwise. Okay. Most people leave it quite near the minimum because then it brings through that really fast sweep where you're picking up just bits of words and bits of sounds. Okay. The knob below it is the reverb that we offer with all FCD Ghostboxes now. It gives it that nice echoey reverb effect, which you'll hear in a minute when I do the demo. Okay. On the top of the unit. Turn that the right way around so you can see it. You've got the red, this side, the red tuning button. That's for, you only use that initially when you set the FCD ghost box up when you receive it, or if you move to a different area, a different location, a different country. You set that by pressing it. It's quite simple, I'll show you that in a minute, how that operates. On the other side we've got an aux out port there, so that you can plug in a an aux cable, a 3.5mm cable, straight into your computer, so you can record all your ghost box findings and output from that. You might want to, test what comes through on your PC or in another device and record it. That's a way to do that. We actually add that extra to the case. Excuse me. And that's about it. There's not any, apart from the multimedia buttons and controls on the front here, which we'll talk about at the end. That's the ghost box in a nutshell. With just those controls you can operate it. It's that simple, it's easy. People are trying to say it's complicated, they're not. They're just some people with agendas. You'll see it's really easy. Okay, so we come to step 5 now. This is basically just tuning the box up. When you first receive it, this is probably, after putting the batteries in, the first thing you would do for your particular area or location where you live. It will be okay, you need to only do this once, but if you move to a different country, a different area of the country, etc., you might have to retune it again to get more stations, more snippets of sounds coming through. Okay, so when you get the box, put the batteries in, it's all set up with good new batteries, flick down the toggle switch, put your rates button at this side, the rates button, to about halfway, okay? Don't need to touch any others. Just make sure the volume's up so you can hear that. Okay. And what you do then is just simply press the red tuning button. It says tune on the label, so you can't go wrong. Down for a couple of seconds and release. And now it will go quiet and start tuning through all the stations in your area. There's one. 2.
You've been a factor.
3. 4. 5. 6. 7. Did you hear that little click there? If you play the video back a second or two, you'll hear the click. When you hear that click, it's like a pop click noise. That's the end of the sweep. It's finished picking up all the radio stations and other radio output that it's picking up through the antenna into the ghost box at the end of that complete sweep, okay, with the click. So you can turn it off at that point. Now all those frequencies are tuned into the radio ghost box. They won't disappear until you retune it again, okay? They're there. No matter if you take the batteries out, no matter if you put it away for a week or two, they're there and stored in it. So you need to do that once, remember. That's how easy that is, just one press of the button. Okay. So now you want to use it, obviously, as a ghost box. Well, you don't need the tuning thing anymore. You've got your volume control here, your on-off switch there, the same switch that you use for the tuning, and you've got your reverb there. Now the rates, if it's set up at its minimum, it's the fastest. So if you want to slow it down, I'll show you how it works in a minute, you just rotate it clockwise. If you want a reverb, an echo effect on the sounds that are coming out, you can alter this as well, and I'll show you in a second. So we'll turn it on. Okay, so now it's on. Turn the volume up, and you can hear it's sweeping through its fastest. So I'm running again little bits of words. Okay, we could slow that down a little bit, altering the rates knob. Put some echo on. And there we go, it's working in the ghost box. You can ask it questions, you can ask Spirit to... And the way ghost boxes work, it's not direct voices from spirits. There's no communications device ever, turn it off for a second, ever been devised that can do that. What we use is terrestrial output that spirits influence and you pick up on, just like with the Ouija board. The spirits aren't painting out the letters for you, they're actually using the glass and moving it to those letters to spell out their communication. The ghost box works in exactly the same way. The spirits will focus your intention, your mind, on certain words and phrases and output of sound that mean something to the question that's being asked, the communication. Okay, so that's how it works. Simple. I mean, it took me seconds really there to show you how this ghost box works. Anybody that is saying that it's difficult to understand is either got an agenda or really needs to watch the video a little bit closer. Okay, because it's dead easy, dead easy. Most people can do it. Okay, I'm going to the next stage, and that's looking at the multimedia. Step 6, the multimedia. On the FCD Mk4 Adj, it's also got built in what's commonly called a portal. It's really an output speaker that takes through the ghost box output plus any other inputs that you want to put into the actual speaker to play through the ghost box at the same time. Pretty straightforward. Most people just use it as a ghost box, but from time to time you might want to mess around, experiment, or try to incorporate the ghost box with the multimedia and see what effects you get. You may find that it's something that you like working with. And I found it really interesting because you can put different sound inputs into the box, as well as the radio that you're picking up from externally, and get some really interesting results. So how does the multimedia part of it work, the portal? So when I say multimedia, I mean the portal side of it. Basically, you have a front panel here of 4 buttons. The only ones you really need to be interested in at all, unless you just want to use your speaker as a radio, which you could do, because there is a built-in radio in the multimedia, and just listen to radio. It won't bring through any snippets of sounds or anything. But you can actually tune that in like a radio. What you've got is the first button you need to be bothered about is this one called mode. When you first switch this on, you'll hear a voice, or a sound sometimes.
Bluetooth mode.
So there you go, you've got the Bluetooth mode. And what it's doing there, it's waiting for you to use your phone in Bluetooth. I think it works with Bluetooth 5 upwards, to actually connect with the speaker itself and send through your Ghost Box apps that are on your phone. So you can play them through the speaker. You can play them at the same time as using the Ghost Box radio, that side of it as well at the same time. So you get an interesting effect there. And you can scroll through this, I think 3 or 4 times. Mode.
FM mode.
There's the radio I spoke about.
Line in mode.
Line in mode. Well, that mode now is waiting for you to put a 3.5mm aux cable into the socket at the top here. You'll see there's various sockets in the top. There's USB. There's a charging port because the speaker, the multimedia, actually has a battery inside that is separate from the 4 that you put in the back to operate this side of it. So you need to charge that now and again. It takes 2.5 hours to charge up, not long, and you get the cable supplied when you buy the actual Ghost Box. Line in has got the port there for the 3.5mm there, okay, and basically it's easy. You just connect it into a recording device or another output device and play it through the actual speaker. Okay, it's simple. So you've got input with that to play through the speaker, or you've got, I mentioned earlier, on the Ghost Box side, this is only for the Ghost Box, not the multimedia, you've got an output using the same cable to go to a PC to record, or a recording device or whatever, that uses 3.5mm male to male aux cable. Okay, common, find them everywhere. Excuse me. So that's that.
Bluetooth mode.
And it goes, so there's 3 inputs, so it goes back to Bluetooth mode then. So it's simple. To turn the multimedia on, there's a little switch there at the top. Sorry, a little switch there at the top. That's off. And it's right next to the red button. Back on again, and you'll see it's coming on the light up. Simple.
Bluetooth.
Again, really straightforward, really simple. There's nothing complicated about it at all. You'll see. You can set this up in how many, I've been doing this in sections, so it's taken me a little bit longer in explaining it. But follow the video, straightforward, simple. One of the easiest Ghost Boxes to operate you'll find out there. Okay, thank you. Bye.